We are live, and this is Bernadette Quist. Hello, everyone at the Be Awesome Network. How are you, Bernadette? Today we've been chatting and getting to know each other, and we had wet hair, and now it is dry. Well, Bernadette, let's get into who you are and where you're coming to us from and what you've been up to lately. Then we're going to get into your story.
All right. Well, my name's Bernadette Quist, and I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I have been. My career path has taken many detours, but one thing that has remained constant is I'm a family gal, but I'm also a musician. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I've been in a band forever. I'm currently in like 3 bands, and I have a full-time job, and I have 2 grown children who are launched, and I've been married. It'll be 40 years this September. And so I was recently, I had borrowed my daughter's car, and I'm listening to this Taylor Swift CD because we still have a CD player. And I was listening to this in her car. And I respect Taylor and I like her music. And I thought, but you know what? It doesn't really speak to people like me. And my songs are for people who have lived a lot, lived a lot of different things, just everyday things. And, I just turned 64, and I just couldn't see myself in the music business way back then. As I was telling you, Lori, my parents grew up in Appalachia, and I saw poverty, and I didn't want to be a poor, starving artist. My dad got out of there on the GI Bill and went to school and became a college professor. And I have 4 siblings, and the thought of being famous held no appeal to me because I just liked, could you people leave me alone? I'm the oldest of 5. I'm like, I just want my own space. I like my privacy, but I just cannot stop writing music. And I've always done it. And I'm working on some really good songs now. And I think I have some good material. And I just played a bunch of my songs for my husband. I had never really shared them with him. He knew I've been in bands singing covers, but he didn't really know my originals. And I played a bunch of them for him, and he's like, oh, they're good. Like, you should try to do something with them. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what. So anyway, my story is to tell people to keep going. I mean, hey, I've the printing industry, you see all the books behind me. The printing industry tanked and changed a lot with the book printing, which I sold for many years. The industry went away, sort of. So I've had to do a lot of things. I've sold cars. I've been a flight attendant, contract flight attendant, as I was in marketing. So I worked at Staples. I mean, I've been away. I've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's great that it seems to me that you do whatever it takes to get wherever you need to go in the time that you need to be there. And
yeah, it's not intentional either. It's not like, oh, I'm going to reinvent myself. It's like, fuck, oops, I swore. It's like, shit, I don't have a job now, and my unemployment's running out, and I know printing, so I guess I'll get this job at Staples where I was like the store mom. But then I went on a walk in my neighborhood later. This was later. And this woman said, "Oh, we're looking for somebody in marketing who can't find the right person. Why don't you interview?" So I did. So now, strangely, I do research recruiting for severe asthma research. What?
Yeah. Well,
And I write music.
I know. Well, let's talk about your music because you mentioned that you never really wanted to be famous. You didn't really feel like that was what you were supposed to do earlier in your life. And now that you've raised children and launched them, I love how you said launched them. They're launched.
They're launched.
You've raised children, you've been married, you've done so many different things. And now it's time for you to pursue something that you love, which is music. And let's talk a little bit about that. How long have you loved music, to write it, to sing it, all of it?
Well, forever. The first song I wrote was about my little sister and how annoying she was. And we all still remember it. Well, that was like in middle school or something. Um, I just forever. My dad, even though he was a professor, he became a professor. He always did music, but he played the accordion, which was highly uncool at the time. And he was a big nerd, and he would play his accordion in his socks and sandals, and I'd be like, "Oh my God." But I went to Catholic grade school. We moved up to Michigan from Ohio. I went to Catholic grade school, and one day in second grade, I heard Motown on the intercom, and I was like, "Whoa, this is great." So I like R&B, and you know, I've always liked Motown, but I try to occasionally I try to put a little bit of my childhood song into some of the songs I'm writing. And I'll have to send you some. We used to sing this song in the car. You can't get heaven in a rocking chair because a rocking chair don't go nowhere. And
That's amazing.
and I put that little line into a song about just the song is called "It's on You," and it starts off looks like rock bottom's got a basement. She laughed as she looks like she's got no one else to, she knows she's got no one else to blame. Sense of humor, it's a start, but it's no replacement for a strategy that will help you own this game you play with yourself. So it's about people who are not doing well, and you can't get to
Yeah.
heaven in a rocking chair. Like back and forth and anger and worry just makes things blurry. That's part of the song. So
Wow.
just stuff like that. And the song that I thought I sent you is called Half Empty. And it's I won't see half empty, not while there's still water left to drink. And you can do what you want with your own thoughts, but don't try to tell me how to think.
Wow.
So the positive energy thing that you're all about, that's what I'm
Yes.
all about too. Like like cheering for people, but also like, you know what? Don't try to blame other people for what's going on. Like let people help you, and love yourself. Do
Yeah.
create, do something. Do
Yeah.
something different. Don't just complain about things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing your song. Your song. I love how
I'll
you
s-
just.
I'll share the recording. I mean, some of them are recorded very well. I went into the studio and Um, I've got a SoundCloud, and it's but I just haven't sold it. I just I don't quite know how to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have started. That's the hardest thing to do. Wouldn't you agree that starting is the hardest thing to do?
I mean, starting to me, well, creating isn't hard. It's like I've always been a salesperson, but the whole idea of self-promotion is kind of icky to me. I don't It was always about the customer for me. It was never about me. And
Yeah,
it's still about, I guess with music, it still would be about the customer, but I don't know.
yeah.
I have a friend, actually, this is something else I'll send you. I have a friend who's an independent filmmaker, and I was my husband and I were both cast in a movie. It's a comedy that's out now, that you can watch online. And but she has to do her own promotion also, and it just wears her out. It would wear me out. I just I don't know. I So
Yeah.
how do you how do you how did you do it? How do you do it
Well,
for Be Awesome?
yeah. Well, this group has basically grown by other people sharing the excitement, and I was just thinking, self-promotion is tough because, like you said, it's promoting yourself, but it's really not. It's you sharing your gift and your passion, and and getting excited about what you're doing, and then just sharing and understanding that people need your music. People need a group like this to come to get encouraged and inspired, and so and to inspire others. So I'm sure that your story is going to inspire someone who hasn't started and they just want to, right?
Maybe. I hope so. I mean, that's it's so cool that I met you. I mean, I this is what I'm about.
Yeah,
I want people to, I mean, it's not cool to be some happy horse shit is not cool. You've got to be authentic, and people grieve. I've had 4 miscarriages. My daughters are 8 years apart. I didn't think I was going to have another baby. And then, surprise, when I was 40, I got pregnant and had my baby. And I was sad. It was hard. There's
yeah,
been a lot of hard things.
yeah,
So I'm not just like, oh, be happy. That's not me, even though I'm I'm a very positive person.
yeah, yeah,
There's a lot of and that's some of the songs that I write too about, you got to be a seed, you got to be a gardener, you got to be a seed, you got to feed yourself and let other people help you.
yeah, yeah.
And you know
Well, Bernadette, how many songs have you written? Because you obviously started very young, and I think that's amazing. But if you can even think of the number, how many songs
uh
have you written over the course of your career?
oh, I'm not really sure. The ones I have on my SoundCloud, and they're not all recorded great. Some of them were recorded like live with a band, and they're not that. But there's probably, I mean, I'm not like 500 songs. I've probably written, I don't know, 50, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, that's a
Probably 50.
substantial amount of songs.
Yeah, in between working, being married, and and having doing stuff with our friends. Like, I that's why my hair's wet. We have friends who have a really cool place up in northern Michigan, and we hadn't been up there in a long time, and so I
Yeah.
mean, I just wasn't gonna like, oh, just be a musician and just do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, I love that you've had some experience through your life that you can pull from, and that you've just been consistently writing songs your whole life since you were even a child. And now you're ready to share it with the world. And so it's exciting.
We'll
It's
see.
exciting.
Um, so tell me how I am gonna, now that I've met you, I can't wait to listen to some of your other interviews.
Yeah.
Um, just tell me, and I did start, and you were focusing on the other person, but just
Yeah.
for the people who don't know you, who are maybe gonna listen to you through because they know me,
Yeah. Of
just
course.
tell us a little bit about you and how that started.
Love it. I love it. Now you're interviewing me.
Hey, I'm a salesperson. I like to interact with I'm a, my people
Yeah.
I work with.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we go with the flow, don't we? I love this.
Yes.
So the Be Awesome Network is kind of a passion project of mine, and you can. There's some videos that I shared in the group that kind of tell my story. But about 2.5 years ago, I was pushing myself way too hard, and I crashed physically and emotionally and spiritually, and everything just came to a halt. I stopped working. I drove home from work and I don't remember driving home. And I woke up the next day in my clothes, and it was just a very jolting experience. But so I had to rebuild my life. I couldn't work. I couldn't cook. I couldn't do a lot of things. It was just basically a crash. And yeah, so after kind of climbing out of that season in my life, and what had happened is I hadn't focused on myself at all. I had lived my life for other people, like a mom does and a wife does and all those things. And I had worked really hard. I was very hard on myself and pushed myself very hard. I was going for a promotion at work, and I didn't get it. And there was just a lot of things falling apart in my life, marriage included. And so I just found myself in a place where I had to focus on me. And so once I started doing that, I started to recover and I started to feel alive again. And I decided I was not going to go back to the office, that I needed a job where I could work from my computer so I could be free to, be in my PJs if I needed to that day or whatever. So that kind of started my journey. And I started the Be Awesome Network in June, and we are now 5,000 strong, and it's just an amazing, amazing experience. I still work full time, but this is my passion project, like I said. And I just wanted to create a space where people could come and be inspired and inspire others, and share their story, because everyone has a story. Everyone is awesome, and we just need to band together and help each other, become the best person we can be. So that's kind of the long and the short of it.
Oh, yeah. Awesome and flawsome, right?
Exactly.
Well, this has just been great. I so appreciate you inviting me to converse, to talk. And if so, I'm not currently selling my music, but what I will do is, but I do have a SoundCloud,
Yep.
and I'm just going to send you that link later.
Okay.
Maybe you can somehow figure out a way to post it so people
Yep.
can start listening for free, and they can just write some comments. And then for the next batch of songs that I'm currently working on, um, I'll try to figure that one out. But also, I'm going to send you. I'd like to send you a link to this movie. It's called Get Real, and it's a comedy about a couple from LA who everyone's breaking up around them, and they're like their careers are going nowhere, and they they're like, how are we going to know if our love is real? And they say, The Midwest. That's where people are real. Anyway, they end up moving to Milan, Michigan, which they think is pronounced Milan. They think it's going to be a little, but it's Milan, Michigan. And I'm their neighbor. My husband and I are their neighbors, and we kind of coach them on getting real. And it's got a lot of Michigan humor. If you have any Midwestern listeners, I think they, I think they'll get a kick out of it. And it's on Vimeo, so you can stream it online, and it's kind of fun.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
fun.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you. So what we'll do is we'll put your contact information in the comments of this interview below the interview once we log off, and we can put all those links in there so people can find you, listen to your
Great,
songs, watch the
great.
movie. You're a
Yeah.
movie star, singer, songwriter. Is there anything you can't do?
Oh, yes, many things. Ask my husband. He'll
That's
tell you.
funny. That's funny.
He'll tell you what I can't do.
That's funny. Well, Bernadette, it's been just an absolute pleasure to be
Yes.
on with you and get to know you a little better. And so I'm very excited to get to listen to your songs, and
Great.
thank you for sharing them with the community and
Yeah, thank
that we have
you. Thank you
here.
for doing what you're doing, and congrats. Yeah, hey, I know what it's like to have your career just go, what the, yeah, but you're doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thanks for the encouragement. I appreciate it. We're gonna
Yay.
stay on. You and I will stay on. I'm gonna end the
Okay.
live video, but we'll stay on and chat just a little bit more. But for those of you who are watching, I just want to remind you that you're awesome and that we can be awesome together. And if you want to connect with Bernadette, please check the comments and we will put all of her links there. And I just know that, someone is going to reach out and hear your music and be encouraged. So thank you, Bernadette, for sharing that with us.
Thank you, Lori. Great to be with you.
You too. Okay, everyone. Well, we'll see you next time. Okay.